All right. Hey, everyone. You all know me, Ash the Baker. I met Kelsey about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and I would not have met her if it wasn't for Plexus. So she was also an elementary teacher, first grade, I think, at the time. And she just is just a light. And we started being Facebook friends, Instagram followers, and we just kind of connected. And it was so good to finally meet in person, and we've been friends ever since. It's been amazing to watch Kelsey's journey and just be inspired by her. She just ranked Emerald in July, so that was incredible to watch. I was like, "Hey, Kels, I got my green cup for you. Hey, Kels, I'm wearing my green shirt today for you." Like I was cheering her on. So that's just a part of the One Plexus community too. Like we're all One Plexus, and Kelsey doesn't have to jump on and pour into us tonight. But I asked her a couple weeks ago if she would be willing to, and I'm so excited that she has the time and she's able to jump on for us. So she's just going to share a little bit about her story and her top tips. Kelsey has already swept the cruise contest, so she's incredible. Her team is in massive momentum. I just saw that her Emerald bestie, Marissa, just shared that Kelsey just shared with 8 people this month and got her $600 bonus. So she is in massive momentum and she is just amazing and inspiring. So get your notebooks out and ready to take notes and be inspired. There you go.
Ugh, you're so sweet. I still get nervous for these calls. I still do not feel like I should be able to give my top tips, and it's still just weird to me. So I am honored to be able to speak to you all, and Ash is amazing. So is Bree. And y'all are on an amazing team yourselves. And that's what I love about Plexus too, is exactly what she said. It is one Plexus. And when you are truly tuned in and plugged in with your community and plugging into these team calls, when you're going for a rank, people are there, whether it's your team, sidelines, whatever. Maybe you're going through something in life. People are there to pray for you. And it's more than just Plexus. It's more than just the products. It's more than just the business opportunity. It's just so much more. And me and my team look at it as a big ministry as well. And so thank you for that introduction. I never feel qualified to be able to do this, but I love speaking to just people in general about anything and everything to just encourage them, motivate them. I'm definitely a raw girl. So if you see me on social media, I most likely have a hat on. It's because I hate doing my hair. It's so much easier to just throw a hat on. And that's just a little bit about me. So my story, I started Plexus 4 years ago, and I started because of IBS. I had terrible IBS. My sponsor that kept reaching out to me, I told her no probably 9 times, and it was a straight like, no, I'm not interested. I've tried Advocare. I've tried this. I've tried that. Like I was the person that tried everything just because it was new and exciting. And I had terrible IBS. I was seeing GI doctors just for all the things that were happening. I was having colonoscopies, um, stool samples done. It was awful. And they just kept prescribing me medications to basically fix what they thought was IBS/Crohn's. And it came to me having a miscarriage to be like, okay, I've got to change something. I've got to do something about this gut health issue. This is not normal. I was 25 at the time, and I was like, this can't be the way to live life at such a young age too. And so we had one kid at the time that we had the miscarriage, and we wanted to have another. And so I was like, okay, finally, she reached out to me again. And I said yes. It was just the perfect timing for me. I feel like truly when you reach out to people and they say no, not yet, or they give you a no, it just is a no, not yet, or they just don't know enough. And that's truly how I felt. And it was just the right timing for me. I was desperate. And most people are desperate when they want to join for their health, right? And so started on the products in June of 2020. And the next month, I no longer was suffering from IBS symptoms. I was not going to the vending machine. I was a first grade teacher at the time. not sipping on that Dr. Pepper every single day. And I'm a big sweet tooth junkie. So I was having candy bars, Snickers, Kit Kats, hot Cheetos and cheese, Chuck Wagons, all the yuck and the junk. And I still occasionally, I say healthy-ish because I still like those things. It's just not on an everyday basis now. And so that was gone. But then that next month of July, we got pregnant with our rainbow baby. And so I knew, I was like, okay, like amen, God, like, thank you, Jesus. Like, I see the blessings. I see this is like where I'm supposed to be. And so my sponsor had told me, she's like, you need to share what has happened with your journey so far. And it had only been 4 weeks. And I was like, okay, whatever, right? And so I did a first post. I had a messenger event, and being a small town girl, I remember just inviting probably I invited a lot of people, 100-ish people probably to that messenger event. And it was anywhere from college friends, childhood friends, co-teachers, friends, family. And that night there were people left and right like, I want to get started. What is this? Like, I need energy too. I'm a mom. Like, I've had a miscarriage as well. Like, they just related to what I was sharing. And I was in messaging with them. Like, I stayed up till probably 2 a.m. that night just messaging people because I was so hungry to help people. And that month I actually quadruple ranked to senior gold. And so it really blew up. I made $4,000 that month. And so I caught the vision fast for what this could be income wise. And that's not the norm. So don't think, oh my gosh, that's insane, and it's very rare that that happens. It just was something that I was blessed with. And before I knew it too, I also lost that because I didn't know how to handle that many customers, right? The retention just wasn't there. And so quadruple ranked, but then fell back. And then I was still teaching for a while. And fast forward probably 2 years later, I was like, okay, it's time to like get my booty into gear. I was like at 100-ish points, 120-ish points. And I just had a mindset shift of I've got to change something. I want more. I want that money again. And I want to help people again. Like, I want to have that momentum and that energy back. And so I was determined in August that sometime that year of teaching, I was going to hit Ruby, senior Ruby, and I was going to quit teaching. And so I buckled down, I got into action. Your mindset is everything. Like, if you tell yourself it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If you tell yourself it's not, it's not. If you have doubts, fears, that can be worked on. Skill sets can be helped with that. But in March I ranked Ruby, and then April senior Ruby. And so that end of the year I put in my teacher notice, and I took a leap of faith again and was like, okay, I'm going to do Plexus full time. And so now this is my full-time job. And I just say I'm a full-time, what do I say? Professional influencer. That's what I like to do. I influence people to grow. I encourage people to just live their best life and to just do it with a community of gals that's going to pray for you and uplift you along the way. Bree asked me, not Bree, Ash asked me to share top tips to just grow faith and vision. And so my first one would probably be plug into the community that you have, plug into these meetings. There's a saying that always sticks to me, and I share it with my girls all the time too. It's, you're most like the 5 people you hang around with. And that's so true. You look at, maybe in high school, who were those 5 people you hung out with? Well, it might not have been the best crowd, right? I look at mine and I'm like, no wonder I was in trouble. No wonder I was, in that group. But now I look at who are the 5 people in my phone that I talk to on a daily basis, that I am mentored by, that I go to church with, and it's no telling that my life is growing, that my faith is growing, that my vision is growing. And so I would encourage you to really sit down and say, who are the 5 people I talk to on a daily basis? and who am I influenced by? Who am I mentored by? And see kind of where you're at in your own circle, maybe even outside of Plexus too, and kind of make a shift there if you would like. But that's what I kind of encourage my girls to do too, is kind of look at that. And that will kind of help shift your faith and your vision as well. My second tip for that, for just growing your faith and vision, would be to involve others, especially your family, in your vision. Something that I did is vision boards with my family. It was something that we do every year, and I make it a big thing. If you have kids, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old currently, but I did this when they were 1 and 4, 2 and 5. And we all sit at the table, we cut out the things, we made a board, and we just made it a big thing. We talked about it, and then we hung it up, and that's something we looked at all the time. And the boys would ask me when we were going for Emerald as a family and as a team, when do we get to go to Hawaii? And I was like, oh gosh, okay. It kind of puts some pressure on you. It puts that accountability on you to go after those dreams, because if anything's going to get you into gear, it's going to be your children. It's going to be putting it out there for everyone to know. And it's really going to get you into action because it's going to hold you accountable. And so that really helped me in just holding myself accountable. But also, when we were going for Emerald in July, it was obviously the deadline to go to Hawaii. And it was something inside of me. I just felt like it was the month. And number wise, it didn't quite make sense, but I was like, it's the month. Like, God just spoke to me. It was the month. And so on the 28th of that month of July, we still had 384 points to go. And I'll never forget thinking, still, like, I opened my computer that day and saw those numbers, and I was like, it's happening. Like, I didn't waver in that thought that it wasn't going to happen. Now, did I have a few panic attacks here and there, like, oh my gosh, is this really going to happen? Yes. But my mindset always was like, it's going to happen, But I feel like that was my faith. And that was God saying, it's okay. I've got you. And so your mindset has a lot to do with all of this too. And just speaking it into existence as well. Another tip would be personal development. That's been huge in my journey. Before Plexus, I had some teacher in services that I would go to, I would listen, I would apply for my kiddos, but it was never really internal, like about me and growing myself for my family and for people that I was influencing and surrounding and mentoring. And so when I started Plexus and we really started diving into growing ourselves and how we can, amp up our leadership, that not only pours into yourself and your team, but it pours into your husband. It pours into your sister, your mom, your kiddos. And so that's what I love about when you get into this Plexus community and you really start to peel back layers of personal development. It's like, I don't know, it's just a beautiful thing to watch, and how your life will change, season to season, month to month. I look back and I'm like, I'm not the same person I was when I started Plexus. I'm not at all. I'm not even the same person I was a year ago. And even last week when I went to Kansas, I'm like, okay, I'm back in Texas. I feel like a different person already. And so that's just what growth will do to you, because you crave more. You crave more for yourself and for others around you. And so personal development's a huge one. The Gap and the Gain book changed my life. I forget who it's by. I'd have to look over there. I can't remember, and I can't see that far, but you probably have it, Ash. But the Gap and the Gain book changed my mindset so much, because we all are going to have times and moments in our life where we're going to be in the gap. We're human. It's going to happen day to day, right? But what I loved about that book was he said, allow yourself to be in that gap for 5 minutes and feel the feels, cry if you need to, but then get out of it. Count down if you need to, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or go on a walk or do something that's going to get you out of it and continuing throughout your day, because you have people to show up for, right? And so that book is a great one. That book is a great one. Let me see what else I said. For years, yeah, okay. So I said on here in my notes, I took notes, so I didn't forget what I was going to talk about. For years, I focused a lot on myself and on the rank. And I think it has to do with how I started out my journey just so fast, with just achieve, 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 and the next rank and the next rank, and just how I am. I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm very goal driven, self-motivated. But for the longest time, I just thought every month you had to go for that next rank. And something that was spoke to me was, in this business, you only have 9 ranks to go through. That's 9 ranks, and that's not a lot, right? And so if we're trying to do that every month to get to that next rank, that's going to be insanity. It's going to be burnout. And so what you need to focus on is just growth. Growth is growth no matter how small. So that was another big just aha moment for me in my journey. Ash, tell me if I'm doing good on time. Doing okay? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. And then the last thing, she wanted me to kind of give you some cruise tips and just kind of things I'm doing right now that are giving me some momentum, giving my team some momentum. So for cruise tips, obviously I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars of what we do. It's going to be recruitment, retention, duplication, and leadership. And that's truly what you need to earn this cruise to the Bahamas. And so right now, if you aren't recruiting, I would say dive into that. First, focus on you. Okay. If you're not recruiting, you can't expect other people on your team to recruit. Okay. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So if you're encouraging people to, help 8 people, 4 people even this month, then you've got to do that as their leader too, right? You've got to show them that it's possible. And so that would be my first tip for cruise. And then retaining, you get credits from that too, right? So making sure you're not just starting someone just to start or to earn just the cruise, right? It's more than that. Starting them and loving on them, encouraging them that it is 60 to 90 days. This isn't a quick fix. This is a journey. This is the process, and making sure you're just upfront with them from the beginning about that. Something I like to do for all my new customers is send them a frother. It's like $4.99 on Amazon. I don't do that for all mine, but most of them I do, or it's a handwritten note or a little bag or something just to say, hey, thanks for ordering. I'm so excited that you started your journey with me. And so recruit, retain. And then the third one would be duplication, right? Obviously, we know to go through the ranks, to build a team, you have to duplicate. And duplicate, guys, if you've gotten to silver, you can teach someone else to do the same thing. If you've gotten to gold, you can teach someone else to do the same thing, right? It's a skill set. We always say in this 80% mindset, 20% skill, right? So you can help people with skill sets to get to those next ranks or to get on this cruise. But 80% of that is going to just be mindset. If there's someone that's like, I don't really know if I even want the cruise, then focus on someone that does want to earn that cruise. If there's someone that's wishy-washy on, I don't even know if I want to get my products free, focus on someone that does want to get their products for free. Focus your energy on people that are excited. And if they're not excited, you go be the excitement for someone on social media in their life, because you're going to gravitate towards people based on your excitement, based on your energy. And we heard this today on our gold call. We have a call with our diamond, and she said this beautifully. I think she heard it at gold school. And it was, no one wants to get into a car that's parked, that isn't going anywhere. And people want to get into a car where they know where the destination is, right? They know where they're headed. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. And so think of that with your Plexus journey, or when you're leading a team. People want to get into a car that they know they can trust you with helping them on their health journey, or creating financial freedom for their family, or maybe it's just getting their products paid for, right? So show them, and then that kind of goes into the pillar 4, leading, right? Leading them, helping them. Something that I'm doing right now with my team, it's in my notes section on my phone. I just started it today. I spent all day basically getting this into rhythm. But I have a list of all my new people. I have 8 people that I've added this month. And so anytime I add a VIP, I automatically give them the rundown and get them set up for success. But the next thing I talk to them about is, let's get your products for free. It's something that I'm really good at. It's something that I'm going to help you do. And you get $10 off next month. What do you say? And so I help them in that process. But what I spent today doing was getting in my notes section on my phone and setting up a task for them. And this task is, so my first one today was Devin. So I put Devin's to-do list at the top. And then I put underneath, I said goal, and I said 4 VIPs, because we're going to get her products paid for. We're going to get her some holiday cash. And we all know that 4 is going to get her that first rank, right? And so underneath that, I put numbers 1 through 10. And I said, make a list of people that you know that could benefit from the products or the financial part of this. And you can collaborate with people. You can send that in a text to them. And so it's basically like saying, hey, here's you some homework. Go do it. And once you do it, we'll talk. So you're matching their energy, or they're matching yours, vice versa. And so I loved that. I cannot take blame or credit for that either. I learned it from my upline, Rachel Gallagher. It's something that she started this week. And so I just started implementing today, but already I have 2 people that have already done the homework today out of the 8. And I'm like, whoa. So they're on to their first post, and we're about to do a messenger event. So you're going to start seeing some silvers pop up, right? And we all know when you create some silvers, it's possible to create a senior silver. It's possible to create a gold from that. Because guys, leaders aren't just found. They're not going to come to you. You have to create them. You have to lead them. And so that's exactly how you guys have a little over 2 months to earn this cruise. And that's exactly what I would do. If you're saying right now, you won't earn that cruise, or I could never, or I don't see myself doing it, or I'm way too far off, then you will not. You will not. But if you say, I will earn this cruise, I'm going to scratch and claw, I'm going to get into action, I'm going to do all the things that I can do every single day to get on that cruise for me and my husband, or me and my best friend, or me and my sister, then you will, because it's all mindset. And so I would just encourage you, especially after this call, go write down like a word of affirmation, like I will earn this cruise, or I am worthy, right? Whatever is holding you back, whatever, like put it in the chat, like whatever your fear is right now, put it in the chat, because then after this call, I want you to go change that, flip flop it. So if it's, oh gosh, I don't think I can earn that cruise, it's, you best bet your bottom dollar I'm going to earn that cruise, right? Or I don't think I could lead a person to get to silver. Change that to, I am going to create a silver this month, right? So we've got to start speaking these things into existence for them to happen, or else they won't. And that's kind of all I got for you, Ash.
I love it so much. Thanks, Kels. Does anyone have any questions? You can drop them in the chat or unmute if you have any questions for Kels, but I know I took a whole page of notes, but and if you don't follow her on social media, she's on Instagram, and she posts the most hilarious reels, but like she's just a light and like is having fun and really encouraging people. And go follow her. Hold on, I'll tell you what her Instagram handle is, or I don't have it up. And
Yeah,
I put in the chat too for the book that Kelsey was talking about with the gap and gain. It's Dan Sullivan. And I know Bree's talked about that book before too.
Yeah, ask any questions if you guys have anything. I'm open.
Does anyone have any questions? And Kelsey's like, since I've started watching Kelsey's journey too, something she's really good at now is getting in her stories and just showing her face and talking in her stories. And it inspires me to kind of show my face more, because I'm not really good about being in my stories and talking in my stories. But I've watched Kelsey just really show up in that space. So
Hey,
People,
Kels,
go ahead.
the notes that you are doing and you're sending out, are you actually like doing a collaboration note like within your phone so that you see that they're working on it, or you're just copying and pasting it to them?
No, I do a collaborate. So I'll make sure it says collaborate, and then I send it in a text message to them, and then it'll ding and it'll show up that they have done something. And then whenever I have some work time, I'll go ahead and go click and see what they've done. And then I follow up with what the next thing is to do. Like, so one girl today, she they don't have to fill out the number 1 through 10 for people they may know that could benefit. I just tell them there's no cap there. You can add more. But one had 5 per people that she had named on there. So I said, okay, there's a message example below. And I put the link for that because we have a resource for that. And I said, go ahead and see which one you like out of that message, and let's go ahead and message those 5 a message tonight.
I love that. Thank you.
Put a little urgency on them as well, I feel like, because if there's someone that's doing the homework, they're eager to make some money. And we all know, especially if these are brand new people, which most of mine are, they're most excited to get into action when they click join, when they see results. And that is what it is.
hold on, I forgot to
And I was gonna